Well, hello, everybody. Welcome back to Cocktails and Rocktails. With me, your most notorious groupie, Allison Rouse, author of this little guy right here we've got tonight. These other little books where you can get all that down in my link tree, so hit that description. Go down, fiddle about your fingers. Because your fingers is take you to lots of cool places. So, and thank you as always to everybody who is tuning in, who is commenting, who is just here hanging out, part of the family, not part of the family. I truly welcome to the new people who are just finding me, that we're creating awesome friendships. You guys, I really cannot tell you how cool, how awesome this is. You know, getting to meet so many people, having so many people tune into me, discover me. I'm truly, humbly just wowed. So thank you so much. So much love and light to you all. Really, truly. And speaking of really, truly, all right. So today's topic, we're going to talk about some more things that kind of not fully freaked me out, like, you know, a couple other things, but kind of made me go, what the, like, what you doing back there kind of stuff. You know what I mean? So we're going to talk about that today. And because we're talking about that, some local stuff, we're going to do, like I said, I always love my locals. This is one of my favorites. I love this one. It's a lay effect. It's kind of a goza base, a slight sour, slight salty, just a really, really amazing mix of flavors. Proper does some pretty awesome flavors. They don't do anything too crazy, too wild. Their Pilsner is extremely delicious. One of my favorite easy drinking beers. But yeah, Proper Brewing here out of Salt Lake City. If you find them in your town, grab them. Grab them like I grab a Rockstar's. Because I do. Ask the guys from Tesla. I just walked right up. I'm like, yeah, this will work. I was brazen. What can I say? All right, everybody, grab your brazen lays, kick up your feet, and let's have a little cocktails. Oh, why so much head? It's not the 80s, people. What's happening in this can? All right, so let me pour it a little bit. You can see there's a lot of head in there. It's like an Eagle Couch back lounge in the 80s. Yeah, there was a lot of head in there, too. Or if you're Jerry Cantrell, sure, it still happens. Anywho, I'm kidding. I mean, I hope Jerry Cantrell's having a healthy sex life that he loves and is having a great time. Teach their own. Cheers, big ears. Should I put my finger in it? I mean, this is a question we all ask ourselves once in a while. Cheers. Ah, so good. Like I said, a nice goza, sweet, salty, sour, salty base. Really well made, what do you call it? The goza base, everything, the guava in it, just absolutely delicious. But I like a good sour flavor, so that's just me. Okay, let's see. Okay, heads down a little bit. Let's do one more. There you go. That's the drink you want. Okay, so today, like I said, we're gonna talk about a couple things, you know, that kind of was like, wow, did that really happen? I'm kind of confused about it. So one of them, so Danny and I were hanging out with Paige and Plant, and they had a few days off. We were just hanging out, having a picnic up in Deer Valley, wondering what the pool people were doing. One of them actually said that. But anyway, and the next day, the day before the show, they had a lot of interviews, stuff to do. So Danny and I decided to go mountain biking. Something we don't always do, but we're like, hey, let's just go mountain biking. Let's fuck it. You know, it's a great day. We haven't done this in a long time. And we were going down a very easy trail. Both of us, one of us, she kind of tumbled, tried to catch herself. I tumbled over her, making her tumble even more. So we got in a little bit of mountain bike accident, right? Didn't see the guys. We're like, hey, we'll see you, we'll see you tomorrow we told them what happened. We're like, just kind of need to take the night. We'll see you tomorrow at the gig, right? So, show up at the gig. I had a big bruise on my face. I think Danny had black. I mean, we were just bruised and cut, looking hot, in our cool little whatever outfits. I think I had this long kind of sundress on that was Stripey and Danny close to the same thing. So here we come in. People are looking at us. We turn and we look, and there's these bruises, these scratches. Guys are like, whoa, excuse us. But you know what? They knew, and it was cool. People in the crowd, I mean, maybe that's why that one guy, because this is the story, if you guys watch my channel, I've told a story about the guy getting kicked out of Page and Plant by Renge, because he was calling his professional goofies. Fuck you. Guess who's not getting kicked out of Page and Plant, dude? But it was that same show. So I wonder if it was because like we had bruises and looked like maybe they beat us or something. Maybe the Mud Shark incident happened again, got a little too crazy. But yeah, so went to a concert, totally bruised, totally the bruises were getting worse that day too, because sometimes they just get worse. And the guys just didn't, they were so gracious about it because, like I said, they knew we were just sort of in this little bike accident and didn't even care. Didn't even care. They were just like, oh, you okay? All right, cool. Enjoy the show. Let's go. Let's have a drink. Okay, cool beans. Whatever. You know, he's coming to my dressing room. Eeny, meeny, miny, mo. With which rock English star should I go? That one. Anywho. So, yeah, never be afraid if, you know, you have a little bike accident. You accidentally slam yourself with the door in the face. Because we do that, some of us. I fall up the stairs. So, yeah, never be afraid to go with those bruises, or, you know, if you happen to be with a rock star the night before and you get your knee cut up and it's all gauzed, bandaged and stuff up when you go to the show, don't be afraid. You're not having really a lot of fun if you're not going home with some sort of injury, really is what it comes down to. But, you know, when they still want to kiss you, even though you've got a bruise right here and it kind of hurts, and putting that, yeah. They still think you're hot with bruises, cool beans. It's a good day. All right. Okay, so we moved from bruises to hives. So we were just hanging out with, what's their names? Nuno Betancourt's original band. What's the name? Extreme. And they had a Saigon Kick opening for them. So when we were hanging out with Saigon Kick, right? It was Extreme and Saigon Kick. And, you know, we'd come on the bus with Saigon Kick because we were getting a little smoky. It's kind of the way we get on the bus. Hey, yeah, we've got a little weed. You want to go? Oh, yeah, let's go on the bus. Come on the bus, girls. It's like, you know, pulling up to these guys in a members-only jacket and a white van that says free fucking puppies. They would jump in. It's like, I mean, they let us in their own bus. They should have known. Of course we're going to accost them. Of course they're our toys. You just became our victims. No, I'm kidding. I'm so kidding. But yeah, back then rock stars could be pretty easy. You can entice them pretty easy. So we're going on the bus. You know, the whole thing with Phil. If you've watched, I have talked about this video or this night in another episode. So Phil, the drummer, he's talked about this in his own book that he wrote. He had things suctioned to the wall and was having a good time till Kristen got a hold of him. And then they went and had a good time together, not solo. But anyway, so while we were on the back of the bus, we're hanging out. The lead singer's all into me. We're talking. We're having a good time. We're enjoying the company. I had a sinus infection. The first sinus infection I'd ever had. I was much better. I was like 4 days into the medication, you know, feeling better, no stuffy head, ready to be out, happy to be hanging with the band. We're all in the back lounge. We're enjoying the company. When the lead singer, he's all flirting, he looks down at me, he's all, what's that? And I'm like, what? And I look down and I'm just, oh my God, it's a rat. Oh my God. I was like just covered in this rash. I was like, I don't know, because I had this kind of low cut little black dress on. It was a long dress, but it was, you know, scallop cut or whatever you want to call it. But anyway, yeah. So broke out in a rash because I was allergic to the fluconazole, the sulfa medication I was taking. Needless to say, didn't get laid that night. Kind of a moment there. You know, because you see the rash, and it was breaking, it was happening like as we were, like I had to go to the emergency room and get all these shots and, you know, the medication, the whatever, starts with a P. Anyway, to counteract the reaction. But yeah, so not, you know, you might be able to show up at a concert with a couple bruises on your face, you know, car wreck, bike wreck, whatever, but definitely not a rash. definitely don't be getting a rash at a concert, because you won't get the lead singer. Not that I was like, oh, I need that lead singer. No, it was just like, oh, okay, cool. Someone I like, someone I can, be my pleasure for the evening, and send him on his way, right? But yeah, that didn't happen. I ended up on prednisone. That's what it is. So that was one of my moments that kind of made me stop and go, oh, well, that's a memory. I've never taken a sulfa medication again. And yeah, because that was kind of embarrassing that it was just, and it broke out. And I was feeling a little itchy, but it was cold. It was winter. I figured I just didn't put on enough lotion. Yeah, so I didn't even know what it was, so I could explain to him what it was. And yeah, that it was so not sexy, not sexy. Okay. And another one that was kind of those moments that I was just like, what's happening here? Was in Vegas. It was the very first time Brian Setzer had debuted his orchestra, his swing band orchestra. And it was the VH1 golf tournament. First, year in Vegas, not even a year yet. I think I was there 3 or 4 months. The security guards at the Vegas, the VIP guys, they're like, you need to be in this party at the Joint, when the Joint was a really small little place. And it was everybody who was at the golf tournament, like Jack Nicholson, Little Stevie from the E Street Band, just all these actors, all these rockers and actors. Alice Cooper was there, but he wasn't really at the party. I don't remember. Clarence Clement, just so many cool people were there. But anyway, and Steve Guttenberg from 3 Men and a Baby, and that Police Academy show. Steve Guttenberg, America's boy next door, right? So Cousin Amy and I, we're just hanging out. We've got our little short skirts on, no knickers on, right? And we're just kind of wandering around talking to people. I just got done having a conversation with little Stevie. This is before his soprano days. But yeah, we were just talking, hanging out, mingling, doing our thing. When Steve Guttenberg comes over with his manager, and he's like, hey, ladies. And we're like, hey, how you doing? And he kind of maneuvers himself between me and my best friend, right? And we're sitting there, just talking, just not really, we're not attracted to, we're not planning on going home with people this night. It's just sort of a spur of the moment thing. We're just taking it all in. So we're just standing there talking to Steve Guttenberg, who's super funny, super nice, whatever, cool. He's not a bad looking guy. When he puts his arms around both me and Amy, we're not taking a picture, nothing like this. Me and Cousin Amy, and he cups our butts from underneath our skirts. Cousin Amy and I look at each other. We're like, what's going on? You know what that looked like? Is he doing the same thing to you? He's got to kind of want one finger just sort of not really touching anything, but cupping the butt cheeks, and one finger slide wrong, and you're going to get junk punched, And you don't expect that from Steve Guttenberg, because like I said, he's America's boy next door, and he just has that angelic face, and he always plays the sweet, innocent, big-eyed boy. Dude, there was no innocence in him that night. He even called us later. I don't even remember giving him our number, but I guess we did, because he called us later. We all had phone sex. That was one of those nights. It was like, I don't know why we didn't go. Neither of us we were like, no. Because he wanted a threesome, and we were just like, no, we're not into it today, but thanks. Cool meeting ya. So, yeah. Yeah, that happened. That happened. Steve Guttenberg had his hand up, Cousin and Amy and I's skirts, when we were not wearing knickers, and it was kind of shocking, because, you see him in these movies, and you expect him to be a little more innocent. That man, not innocent. The way he talked dirty on that phone, dude. I mean, I used to write letters to this drummer out of this porn magazine, or this porn book that I had, because he's like, write me dirty letters. I was like, okay. Write me nasty letters. I said, okay. Michael Jackson and Little Boys is nasty. That's what I would put in the original card. Then I would have these two, a bunch of paper where I'd write one of the chapters of the the slutty book that I had, so, or chicken and peanut butter is nasty, but it's really not. I love chicken satay. But anyway, just stuff like that. So, and then one of those moments where you kind of feel like, uh, is this, what's happening here? Okay. So there's a couple things we're going to talk about. Okay, I'm going to leave that one for the last. Okay, I'm leaving this one to the last because, ladies, some of you may understand it, some of you may not. I don't know. It's happened to me once, but okay. So another thing that I kind of was like, oh, that actually worked. Stupid things you do. Excuse me. So back in the day, we didn't, in the 80s and stuff, we would just go downtown Salt Lake City in our car and we'd do the rounds. And we'd see if there were tour buses at different hotels. So there was one that was a hotel that we weren't really used to being in. There was no really hotel bar in this one, so we didn't know how to find the guys. So we ended up leaving a note on their car, or on their, the front of the bus window. So, hey boys, welcome to Salt Lake City. If you guys want to have a little rock and roll fun and learn about the groupie, something like that. Like, we were very blatant. Just give us a call. So the next morning, like 9 a.m., we hear our phone ringing because Danny and I lived with our friend Angie and stuff in this house by Liberty Park. So next morning at like 9 a.m., the phone rings. We're like, who the fuck is that? 9 a.m.? We don't know anybody that's awake at 9 a.m. And we pick it up. We're like, hello. And it was the band that we had left that note on. So we're like, oh, okay, cool. We'll meet you down there around 2, 3 o'clock. They're like, all right, cool. Nice to meet you. Is it really, you guys really just left this note? And that actually worked. So who knows? It might work again. Leave a note on the front of the bus or at the bus door. Just take it in there. Hey, guys, we need to bring the groupie world back to rock and roll. It's gotten too boring. Call me. For the ladies who are just coming up, that might be. And then we were kind of surprised that we decided to stop by the Circle K right by their hotel. And the bus was right there. We walked in and these guys start chasing us in. They're like, hi. And we're like, hey, nice to see you guys. And they're like, wait a minute. Are you the girls that left the note? We're like, yeah, we're the girls that left the note. We were just going to grab some beer or something. And he was like, holy shit. Fuck yeah. And we had a great time. I can't remember the name. They had chosen their name because it was like Uriah Heep, but they weren't Uriah Heep. They were more of a thrash band. They were playing at the Speedway Cafe, a really small kind of CBGB style club. So, yeah, ladies, if you don't know how to reach the band and you see their tour buses and there's no hotel bar, write a note. Let's get old school. Like I said, it's time to bring back a little intrigue into rock and roll. It's really boring out there on the road these days. The hotel bar still happens, but I think somebody needs to breathe life back into the rock and roll world. All right. So, yeah, put the note on the band. They may actually call. They may not. Who knows? Put your Facebook handle. Say, hey. Now you can have them see a picture. It's not the mystery it used to be, so they can at least know who they're calling. Because these guys had no clues, like shooting the dice. We could have been a bunch of crazy drug addict dumbasses, They would have ripped off everything out of their bus, but they had a shitty bus. We wouldn't have done that. Okay. Let's see. Got the Hives. We got Steve Gutenberg. I want to tell this Ugly Kid Joe story, but I got a video demonetized. I got a community strike for it. So okay. If I do, I have to kind of really, really masquerade all the words. And I've told this story before. I just have it on age restriction. So, okay. So this is one, and it's still not the last one. So the lead singer that I had been seeing of Ugly Kid Joe decides he's going to run off and be with the girl that I work with in her car. And I'm like, what the? And I'm waiting on the bus for him with the rest of the band. He's like, oh, wait for me on the bus. And they're like, well, we saw him go with your friend Roxy to her car. And I was like, So, ladies, do not let them do that shit to you. Don't let them walk over you. We are not doormats. We are women who are choosing our own prowess. So, to get him back, we were all hanging out, my friend Jade and I, and some random girl in the back lounge of the bus, just partying, smoking, drinking, doing what you do. And we go without Jade and I decided we didn't need our clothing so much and we were going to dance around like we did, which kind of irritated girl in her little cutoff shorts and combat boots, kind of in the corner. So it was a U-shaped, like couches on the back lounge. Well, not U-shaped. It's the but there were couches right here. Here's the stereo. The girl was in the back corner. Oh God, don't do that. But anyway, the girl was in the back corner between like the bass player or the drummer was here, the bass player was here, the guitar player, Jade, and a couple of the roadies. We're all just squished in the back lounge, just living crazy life at the spur of the moment. No clothing. So I decide I'm going to get back at that lead singer because guess what? I have to work with that bitch and I have to look at her. And know that her and that guy just totally screwed me over, just totally humiliated me. So how to, do unto others, I'm going to get you back. Don't piss me off. I'm very creative at how I get you back. So the drummer was like all looking frisky and sexy and he was just totally into it. So I just kneeled down in front of him. And I prayed to Jesus. I was doing confession and he was really liking the confession that I was doing and was so excited. And that girl in the corner was bitching still because she was bitching when Jade and I decided to get more comfortable, right? And she was we're like, if you don't like it, leave. And everybody's telling her, if you don't like it, leave, go. We decided we were just going to go for broke for this party. So I'm down, I'm worshiping. I'm at the Church of Rock and Roll in the back lounge, doing what we do during our prayer sessions. And the drummer's about to praise God. Oh, Lordy Jesus, right? So I'm like, oh, that's my cue that I'm going to take my mouth off the cup from the sacrificial wine. And the sacrificial wine spilled the Jesus juice onto the girl's legs. She's so mad. I don't want it in my mouth. I learned from Kip Winger, for fuck's sake. Ooh, No how, no way. Oh, she was mad. She was mad. She finally hurdled me and got out of there. Sorry, I still laugh about it to this day. Because it's like, you know what? Don't sit there and bitch and call us whores. And, you're on the back lounge after midnight on a tour bus with the band who's on their first fucking tour in the early 90s. Of course it's going to be wild. If you don't like it, leave. She had every opportunity to leave. But don't sit there and like, oh my God, you're such a whore. Excuse me? Ooh. So yeah, she got out of there right as the lead singer and Roxy were walking onto the bus. He's like, what's going on here? I'm like, oh, same thing that was oh, excuse me, I swallowed wrong. Same thing that was going on in the car just now, but a little more wild over in this neck of the woods. So yeah, Jesus juice on the Antichrist. Not my finest moment. And we're going to talk about... And I bring this up, I did this list because Danny and I were talking about this the other day. And she was like, what? Because we were just... I don't even know how we got on the subject of love gloves. The love gloves we talked about in the safety episode. So we were talking about love gloves. And this just for some reason reminded me. Oh, God, I can't believe I'm going to tell this story. So 13-year bass player and I, there's an episode all about him down about a year behind, or a year down into the episode. So we were hanging out, having fun. He was in town for like a week. Cool. Nice. So we're practicing safety rules, wearing helmets and love gloves and, hooking ourselves up to to the balcony so we don't fall over when we're out there. But so And at some point, he stops. He's like, what happened? Where is it? He looks down and things are just sans nothing down there. There's nothing on him that should be on him, right? Can't find it. He even goes searching in dark caverns for things, love gloves. Can't find it. So we go, whatever. Get done, everything. We have a good time. He's still in town for a few days. We are still practicing very much hot and heavy with each other, He leaves town like 3 days later. Go to the bathroom. Not one, but two. I'm like, what's happening down there? And something wasn't right, so I go wipe, and I was like, what? He looked for that in there. What in the what? And I was like, okay, something's still wrong down there. And he didn't even tell me about the second one that had gone missing. I mean, like, dude, put that on a milk carton. If something goes missing, we put it on a milk carton. You let me know. We go looking for it, okay? So, ladies, I don't know. Tell me down in the comments. Is it just me? Is it just me? I mean, it's just sucked him right off, apparently. Not. I mean, the tight cavern. But not one bit too. And I didn't know what to think about that. I didn't know what to think. I still don't know what to think about that. Between that and the Ugly Kid Joe story, oh God, oh, yeah. All right, and I'm gonna leave it with that. So, yeah, never trust a spelunking expedition, because apparently, Jesus Christ, like, is it deep? That deep? Not that big. Anyway, so there you guys go. Tell me your little what the fuck moments down there in the comments. Please, I'm not alone in this, am I? Please tell me I'm not alone. But all right, put your comments down there. Tell me your wild moments. Tell me what you think. I mean, yeah, would you have, would you have gotten back against the lead singer who disrespected you like that in the way I did when it came to the Ugly Kid Joe story? How would you react to Steve Guttenberg with his hand up your skirt? Put it down in that comment. And while you're going down there, if you are just lurking around and you are not part of this family yet, because we have an awesome family. A lot of people are like getting to know each other, making plans to hook up to see other bands in other cities. That's so awesome. Get down there, you guys. Become part of the family. Hit the subscribe, hit the share, hit the bells. Let's get cocktails and rocktails out. It is time to take the groupie game to a whole level. Let's get this book out there so I can get it signed. Purchase rights. We can have a mini-series, a movie. That's a documentary, something. Because, the only groupie story that's ever been told is from the 70s. And it's like, it was so much more insane and cool. And women were their own things. We were not trinkets to the rock stars anymore. They were our man candy. We flipped the game. So it's time to show the world a different side of groupie. We owned it. Once upon a time, not long ago, I was a hoe. I'm admitting it because I did the shit. I was a hoe. It's a song on TikTok. But all right, everybody, hit the subscribe, hit the share, hit my bells, and we will see you next time on Cocktails and Rocktails. Cheers, big ears.